What's going on, guys? Welcome to part 4. Getting it done. It's been a 24 hours. Just kind of working through my own stresses. Cheers to anyone drinking coffee while we're doing this. So, to start, if you guys are watching the short, there is a long version. If you are watching the long version, you haven't watched the other ones, go back. It does make a difference to see them in order as they build upon each other. And then, as always, feel free to reach out. I'm going to start today, or I'm looking down, I've got my whiteboard. Just kind of admitting my failure yesterday. My goal was to do one of these a day once I started. And yesterday just got away from me. And I started to get real mad and just feeling behind. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I just can't do it. So I tried to, what you see as we go through this, I tried to take it and make it a lesson point and an integration point and just completely own that all the stress I was feeling, or I looked at all the causes to the stress I was feeling and all the things that I was behind on or frustrated with, how, what was my part in them. And I had a significant part in pretty much all of them. And had just made mistakes in planning and scheduling and was just frustrated. But I looked at it as how literally 98% of it was my fault and could have been mitigated. So it'll be a good lesson going forward as I continue to work on it. Even today, I woke up and just immediately felt behind. We're trying to jam so much. McAllen fucking sucks so bad and it's so hot. They just don't want to do anything during the day, so we're trying to front load everything. Get up at 6 and get Drover out and work out while we're doing that. And then I'm doing physical therapy every day, trying to heal some physical ailments and really commit and put my money where my mouth is on not being able to fucking complain about pain if I'm not doing stuff to it. And then we're just different business aspects we're trying to do, things with school and BAH and VA, and it just piles up, so I don't know, just real world for you. Let's roll into it. Recap. So we started with everyone and everything is evil. We started really with my why and getting me to do ayahuasca, the how and the why. The first night of everyone and everything is evil. Second night, the breakthrough, the universe, and man, I'm gonna do some more videos on that because it's so amazing. I think about it a lot every day of what I accomplished there. Not only the stuff that I experienced, but the feeling of overcoming a struggle and breaking through something that was kind of I don't know if a fear is the right word, or yeah, it was just a lot. And just facing it and eating it and owning it and then breaking through in a way that was just amazing. And today is really kind of built on that. So night 3, I ended up lovingly calling "fuck your plans." And that was after the fact for sure, but by night 3, like, you're into it. They say at the retreat that ayahuasca has an arc. It knows if you are there for 3 sessions, 3 ceremonies, 5 ceremonies, 10 ceremonies, whatever it may be, however the length of time. And that for us it was 4 ceremonies, so night 2 and 3 are going to be your peaks. And so night 3, we everyone went pretty hard. And my dosage, I started with 1.5. And fortunately, I guess I'll probably get into the story, but I was drinking pretty hard in that 1.5, and fortunately, Christina, I didn't know what I wanted after that because I was going pretty hard, but I wanted to push it. You know, as I said in the last video, I think if you're going to a retreat like this, like, you need to fucking go. You know, you're there to do work, own it, eat it, get over the fear, go. But Christina had a half poured, and so I was able to take that, and it was enough for sure, which we'll get into. And that kind of touches on, and this is a side note from my story, but the importance of facilitators. Given my own devices, I probably would have pushed through on a decent amount more. And how hard the night went for me in terms of intensity, like, I don't know if it would have been a good thing. But goddamn, these people have so much experience. Christina and Alon have been 20 years of 2 decades of experience in this. And just complete confidence, and knowing as I was sitting in front of her, expressing how the first part of my journey went that evening, or this evening that I'm talking about, and what I was looking for the rest of the night, and so on, and just complete confidence. It's like, let's do this. And the beauty of trusting that. Yeah, super cool. So if you guys are looking at going, if you guys are watching this series, you know, a couple of you I know have retreats lined up, and you know, not at Soltara, but you know, your own thing, and you are curious as you're looking into the place. Really lean into the expertise of the facilitators and their experience, and you know, obviously the maestro and maestra, but that team that's there is really going to give you the confidence to do more, as you are just in a different planet sometimes. So now, man, it's funny how some of these, how the universe, as I've been saying, kind of pushes you through some of this. A lot of people go to these retreats and they completely shut off technology. Phones, computers are away. They don't even bring them, or they turn them off and don't turn them on. I did not do that. We are partnering with a nonprofit to be a housing provider. It is something we're super excited about. I have an incredible marriage, and I want to converse with her multiple times a day. You know, for me, a healing process or bettering process, optimization process, fully involves that woman. Us not sharing it is not an option. I am better because of her, and you know, she's my rock. So I've got my phone, you know, and I'm trying to deal with this real estate deal, this auction property we're trying to do down in Tampa, and an aspect of working with Walt at the retreat. You know, I needed to, for what we were trying to do, because the auction deadline was the day I got back from the retreat, and I just couldn't shut it off. So we're going to talk about perceived injustices. There's an agent there on the sell side of this that I've never experienced someone like this. We have text messages between myself and him and my agent, where he is definitively telling us 2 different things, and he is lying. She's just caught in a lie. And then the lawyer that's handling the sale of these properties it's caught up in a legal process with the SEC, but he's just a mess. And I was getting so mad. And this is probably 2 hours before pre-ceremony yoga as I'm navigating this. And then we get a message from Airbnb, or a message from one of our guests there of our flagship property. It's beautiful in Cheyenne Canyon. There's an old guy that lives next door that's just fucking hates the world. And I'm just dealing with that. I don't need to go into full details on it. And I finally get to the point where I'm talking to Amanda. I'm like, I gotta put my phone away and just go down to the Maloka and get away from this, because I'm getting fucking spun right now. And so I go down. The ceremony usually starts at 7:30. The yoga starts at 6:30. It's like 5. And I go down and I just lay by myself. Which is ultimately clutch. I guess my point in that is just I really needed to. It was not my contact with Amanda. There was no issues there, but my need to check on business stuff or work. And, you know, I probably could have set up better stuff initially to deal with that. Or maybe only checked it once instead of continually monitoring or trying to interact. I don't know, but just some feedback there, because it was a problem, and probably led me to what my night was, because goddamn was I fucking mad. My anger. I have always had an anger problem, at least since as early as I can remember as a kid. For most of my life, it needed to come out in physical violence. So I was pretty good at not fighting really. I would punch it mostly with my fists. I had to punch things, so if I was in my house, putting holes through walls or just finding things to hit, signs, just anything I could punch and just feel that pain in my fists. Eventually I smartly got a speed bag so I could actually just punch something and punch better, make it kind of a challenge. But yeah, I would just needed to destroy things. As I got into my 20s, I fought more. I was always very cognizant of the repercussions of that, though. And the last time I got in a legit street fight, I don't know what happened to him, but I was with a girl in Sag Harbor, and he wouldn't leave us alone. And it hit him, and he fell back and smashed his head open. And I just dipped. And I thought about that a lot going forward. If there's times that I would look at fighting, because you can legit change someone's life or change your life. She did tell me that the ambulance came and he wasn't dead, but who knows ultimately if there's any lasting repercussions of that, or consequences, I should say. But even then, like, my anger was always very physical. I got to the point where I could really outlet it in very, very hard workouts and help there. And it ties to a lot of the emotional instability that I talked about, is why I went here. I don't do physical violence anymore, really, which, for any team guys that are watching this, is probably one of the biggest transition points. Is, as a team guy, we're dealing with violence so much and aggression that you have that outlet. And it was amazing as to how that helped my anger outside. I think because I had such that off gas. Probably what a transition thing that was tough is as you lose that. So then you're controlled enough that you don't outburst with it, but at least I didn't. But then you're just suppressing all that, and goddamn, is that not healthy, right? So we'll jump into the kind of the night. I go in and my plan going into this, I go into yoga. I'm like, I had a breakthrough last night. I'm gonna talk to Aya. I'm gonna look at it as a partnership. I'm gonna let the medicine continue to do its work, continue to clean out the cup, continue just to explore conscious, unconscious stuff, and just really go in this beautiful state and this journey. And I took that cup and a half, and goddamn was I tripping quick, and I was gone, like clown car through the carnival, gone. There's a lot for this night that I don't remember, frankly. I just remember kind of trampolining between portals of things, and but a lot of it in the first half with that cup and a half is it just kept coming into my head of perceived injustices versus actual injustices. And I brought up the example of the lawyer and the neighbor because it was so fresh in my mind, and it was just forcing me as it was coming in, like it was talking to me and being like, Lindsay, you need to analyze these things as they come in. We're giving you the room to be able to do it. Like, why do these things make you so mad? Why my story the other day where I missed the fucking exit because I went to look at a song, like, and I spiral. It's like, I don't know, there's like one solid thing. I think a lot of the things that come in are when I feel stupid. If something makes me feel stupid, and I think a lot of you guys can probably relate to that. No one wants to feel dumb, especially in public or anything like that, especially when I work so hard to not be dumb. And I don't mean like being the dumbest person in the room. I do try to do that. I want to be surrounded by greatness. But I mean like actually stupid, making stupid choices. I think you guys understand the difference in that. And it was just grounding into me, and I was like, just case study after case study of coming in of was it a perceived injustice? What was my accountability into it? Because that's really where it tied to, is it just kept saying like, Lindsay, how is this your fault? Is what could you have done better? Is that person acting out in this way because it's a mirror? Again, we bring up the mirror. It's a mirror of how I'm acting to them. Am I being a fucking cocksucker to this person that is making them be a cocksucker to me? Like, think about yourself. Like, I know for me, if someone's an asshole to me, I'm immediately an asshole. Fuck you, fuck me, fuck you. At least in terms of an anger point. Like, if I can tell someone's just having a bad day, I'm generally better. But if someone is like aggressive at all in terms of them being, mean, then I can flip that switch pretty fucking quickly. I internalize a lot of it, but when it needs to be external, I can be intimidating, and it's genuine. Like, I'm fucking mad. The problem, or what I'm continuing to work on, we're gonna get into some case studies, because the after work of this experience is what's so clutch. When am I really looking at it to see what's my agency in it? And goddamn, did it fucking tear me apart. Just instance after instance after instance of something that would make me really angry. And I'm tripping balls here. I went for it. Quick side note. Interesting about ayahuasca is it's not like other drugs where the more you do, the more intense it is. There's guys there that we talked to after, and they did 2.5 cups, and I feel that my experience was drastically more visual and through the wormholes, I like to say. And then when we talk about my final night, I did much less, and I went hard. So it's really interesting. It's kind of where your setting mindset is, and just, as I said, fuck your plans. Like, it's just kind of doing what you need, not what you want. So yeah, it kept challenging me to think of things as my fault. Like, the world happens for us, not to us. Saying I've said that our decisions, not our conditions, are what shape our environment. I'm deciding how to react. Like, I'm deciding the control or lack of control of that anger. Not everything is the world is against me. It's not this horrible life that I've had. It's, I've had a lot of pain and a lot of struggle, but I get to choose whether that defines me. I get to choose how my anger relates to that. And I've found that seeing things as my fault and voicing it out loud has been really powerful for me. Even before I went down there, when I started to do with Amanda, because I've been working on this for quite some time, is as something would start to make me really angry, I just voice it to Amanda. I say, this is what's happening inside right now. I'll give you an example. We're flying to Charleston, and I'm hungry. It's probably 10 a.m. I haven't eaten yet. And I know I've looked at the menu on my phone, and I know that they have a cheese box, and I like the cheese protein box they have at Starbucks and shit like that. Same thing on a plane. So we get on, and I'm just waiting for fucking cart service to come. I'm trying to be fairly healthy, so it's like I'm not eating like snacks and bullshit. Cart comes, they don't fucking have any. And the woman's just casually like, yeah, they must have forgot to load it. We should have it. There's nothing else I want. Everything else they have on there is bullshit. Or I don't like it. I got the diet of a child. I like chicken nuggets way too much. So she goes, and I've always told Amanda, I am as angry as I've been in some time. Like, if I wasn't constrained in a plane, like I told Amanda, I was like, babe, I have to voice this. I could rip a fucking chair out of this plane right now. Not give a fuck. Like, I am that mad. Like, why the fuck? They had one job. Load the fucking food into the plane. How fucking hard is it? And as I'm saying it, I'm like, God, this is so dumb. I am losing my mind over a cheese box. It was a couple days later, maybe a week later, I was on a call with one of my coaches, and we'd gone to Starbucks to get Wi-Fi, and they didn't have the fucking cheese, someone with cheese boxes, they didn't have the fucking cheese box again, and I am mad, and I go out and I'm like voicing it to him, just voicing my thoughts, and I'm like, what's funny is, and I'm saying this to him, I'm like, what's funny is, you know how long I've wanted a cheese box today? He's like, no, how long? I was like, about 30 seconds. I didn't want one until I got to Starbucks, and then they didn't have it. I feel like there's fucking injustice against me, and the whole world's against me because they don't have a fucking cheese box. Like, how dumb is that? And you know, I'm thinking about these things as I'm tripping, and I'm laughing to myself about, you know, at this point that a sense of humor is coming in, and it's like my subconscious is telling me how fucking pathetic I am. That these things bother me. All the things that can happen in my life, in the world, and all the things I've experienced that fucking matter. They're significant. And the things that irate me can be a cheese box. Like, I'm just laughing at myself, and it is just ripping me apart and making me feel so dumb, but in a loving, caring way. You know, I mentioned before, probably one of the things that pisses me off is feeling stupid. I think for a lot of people, it was a really interesting experience to have it just grind into me, all these things of me being just so dumb and my anger being so stupid, and then thinking about all the times that I voice it out loud to Amanda, and it helps because I start laughing at, you know, are you listening to yourself right now? You know, when you think that to someone or say that to someone because it's so dumb, and I just kept doing that, and then I'm laughing about it. And it was cool, you know. I came out of that, and it was difficult, but I came out of that I got kicked out, as I say, you know, kind of spit out and going for my second dose, and I was excited because I was making such progress, and I felt that it was so substantial that I was able to finally laugh at myself. I guess that's where I'm going with a lot of this. I was able to laugh at myself for some of the stupidity of it, or so much of the stupidity of it. And, but goddamn, I had been just like, I was exhausted by this point, and I was kind of nervous, but I was there to do fucking work. So I go back in, and I took that half a cup kicker, and I was back in the wormhole, and it was just more of it. And I spent hours on a very simple concept. Every injustice I could think of, that my subconscious or my brain could think of in however long, my whole life, just came in and was categorizing it as perceived or actual. Because there's a lot of people who are just fucking malicious. The trucking company. You guys follow me on social media, you know that. Those people are fucking malicious, and they are taking advantage of society. I'm still working through that with the Attorney General of Florida. But there are cases like that where people are fucking scumbags, and they deserve to have your conscious thought process and then emotional anger reaction to appropriately process what they deserve. You know, there may be times that come in, someone fucks with Amanda, I'm gonna beat them to death. Like, there is times that those outlets are appropriate, but most of the time it's not. If I miss a fucking exit, like, I say it, but I work on it. Like, I need those things not to bother me, because it's just living, it's just daily life, and I want to be in a beautiful state all the time. Or if they anger me, like I said, what I'm doing now, I just say it out loud as fast as I can. I started to do it with just fucking anybody. Like, it's not just Amanda. I just say out loud what I'm thinking as I start to spiral to whoever's around me. I probably look like a crazy person, but I'm able to talk myself out of it immediately and laugh at myself and just move on. I'm like, God damn it. And, but I think that night of just being run through the ringer of just case after case after case of how stupid I was and how stupid the anger, or how stupid the situation that I was angry at was, and just grounded to me to be comfortable with feeling stupid, you know? People say, I think it's important to think what people think of you. I think it is very important. I think anyone who says that they don't is lying to themselves, probably most importantly. But it's such a barometer for what you are. If 80% of people think I'm a dick, I'm probably a dick. If 80% of people think I'm a failure, I'm probably a failure. 80% of people think I'm a success, I'm probably a success. And I should look at those things, They matter. So yeah, I guess let's chat. It's gonna be kind of a long one because I'm really working through this in real time, and it's important to me. You guys are really getting to see how my brain works as I apply different things and work through it on a daily basis. So let's look at post-ceremony, or post-retreat, I should say. Well, thank you for your patience with the coffee. I now have the room in my cup to objectively analyze inputs, stimuli, and then properly emotionally react to them. Our brain thinks and does the analysis of everything that comes in, but you don't react with that. You react with emotion. Our emotions are the things that implement our thoughts. I study a lot. I digest a ton of information. That was something that came out last week, actually, in something I was listening to, and it's completely right if you really think about it. And then I'm able to tie that our decisions, not our conditions, and what shape our environment. I'm able to analyze and then decide what emotion am I going to tap to execute that thought in that situation. Sometimes anger is the right one. Sometimes sadness is the right feeling. You need to feel sadness. Love, joy, disappointment, betrayal, fucking passion. It's probably one I feel most often. It's I fucking love life. I'm so excited about things. Most people tell me they feel from me. It's just genuineness. But I think what gives you such power in all of that is the ultimate accountability. I have an advantage there. Again, team guys watching, we have an advantage. Is as a Green Beret, you do not have the ability to blame other people. It is human nature to blame other people. The biggest failures I know of people that I know in my life blame everyone else for their fucking problems. They will say they don't, but they don't realize, they don't listen to themselves. They blame fucking everybody. It's sad. I know in my addiction days, I did a lot of that. The power that you have from ultimate accountability, of thinking of your failures first and your agency in everything that you do, is powerful in a way I cannot describe. And it is so difficult in a way I cannot describe if you are not actively working on this. I've been working on it for a long time, and now I am really working on it, and goddamn is it hard. It was hard for me to do this video today. Honestly, I'm just behind, but I needed to get it done. For me, I needed the win, and hopefully for you guys, I'm getting some messages that are pretty meaningful to me. So one of the cool other things, as I'm being run through the ringer on the ayahuasca for this evening, is now where can I improve my accountability? So one is mental wellness. I'm doing the work extensively with psychedelics. I'm a huge proponent of that. Kind of a soapbox I'll get into at a different time is I rail against big pharma I think if you are taking or you are giving someone, let alone a fucking child, anything that fucks with their brain chemistry, you're wrong. And that's pretty much a hill I will die on. There are obviously occasional needs for it, but now the studies are coming out that SSRIs do nothing for depression. That's someone who means a ton to me. One of his biggest things against Kennedy is Kennedy saying that SSRIs should be looked at as a link to the school shootings, because every school shooter seems to be on SSRIs. Like, is it the cause? I don't know, but it should be fucking looked at. Like, you know what studies are showing now? That psilocybin has such an effect on depression. It's like astounding. So I've been a proof of concept of psilocybin's power in a business and mindset realm for years now. It's been fundamentally life-changing for me. And I'm doing the work now with the stronger stuff, and a lot of the work for me in improving is sharing my journey and hopefully improving some other people's world. But a huge one for me is physical wellness. I'm laying there and like, I rehab myself to be good enough so that I can work out as hard as I can. I do that a lot because of the mental wellness stuff. It is therapy for me. I struggle with some insecurity issues where I feel if I'm not really strong, or I don't look fit, or things like that, then who the fuck am I? There's a lot of self-identity shit in there that I need to work through. But I'm in pain a lot, you know, and that's saying even someone who does, just I put in the effort to physical therapy, massage, etc. That your body can only handle so much if you don't let it heal. So it was really just grinding me in, like, Lindsay, you don't have a fucking right to complain about shit with your pain if you're not actively doing the fucking work. Like, if you don't have optimal physical and mental wellness, success, money doesn't mean a fucking thing. Richest man in the graveyard, pointless. So I came back, I go to physical therapy every day now. I'm building, before we get in the motorhome, I am rebuilding a foundation. I'm signing up for a training program that is very basic, just to keep myself going. A lot of rebuilding, crossover symmetry every day. Just a lot of foundational stuff, and I'm gonna do that for months. I'm talking to people and helping them with the peptide aspect and you know, my thoughts on stem cells, because I think they're just so incredible what we can access. I was talking to someone important in my life, and who just he's complained about back pain forever, as I have. But you know what? We don't fucking do anything about it. Going to the chiropractor repeatedly is not fixing it. We have to look at fundamental causes and our part in those fundamental causes. We have no fucking right to ever complain about pain at any level if we don't use all of the tools that we have now to fix it. Modern science allows surgery should be a last resort, but surgery to do incredible things, literally fix almost everything, especially structurally, let alone stem cells. Like, the proof of them working is just fascinating to me. And then dial it down as you look into, you know, you don't want to spend the money on those, you may not have insurance, like, just, you have back pain and you don't obsessively do core strength workouts. It's not crunches, it's like a ton of plank shit, like bulletproofing your inner core muscles, stable, supporting that spine structure. If you're fat and you have back pain, fuck you. Like, lose the weight, like, or don't, but you don't get to complain about being in pain, you know? So that's a lot of the physical shit that I'm working on, and it was just ground into me so hard, and now I'm gonna be kind of callous with people. If they're complaining about shit, what the fuck are you doing about it? You know, it's saying that in any avenue I can help. If they're like, I'm not doing anything because I don't fucking know what to do. Okay, tell me your goals. I obsessively research all of this shit with mental and physical wellness. Like, let me regurgitate things that I've found that seem amazing to me, or that I am personally doing. That's probably the biggest thing of my journey right now, is not regurgitating just shit that I read. I'm trying everything on myself, and I've had so many injuries, significant injuries, that I've probably dealt with the injury that you're feeling. This is what I've done, this is what works for me. Right now, I am lifting very light and I'm just doing a ton of rebuilding because I have no right to fucking complain. And goddamn, is that powerful. Case examples. If you want more on that stuff, reach out. Especially if you're in physical pain or you're having mental issues, reach out and see if it's something that I've faced and I can help with. You know, some of you are just fucking crazy, you know, and I can't help with that. Also, don't reach out if you're just blanket depressed and you're not doing anything to do anything for it. If you're trying stuff and it doesn't seem to be working, let's see if I have some ideas that can push you to something I've tried or push you to someone smarter than me. But if you just think the world is against you, I got nothing for you. Case examples of some fucking awesomeness coming out of the retreat. So my last day there, I'm trying to get life insurance. If you guys are transitioning, get fucking life insurance before you get out. Everyone told me that. I didn't do it. You know whose fault it is that I don't have life insurance? This fucking guy's. Especially when you're medically retired, you know, if you're a team guy, it is gonna be a bitch to get life insurance. So I get an email that they're doing initial underwriting and they're telling me that I'm an opioid addict because I was prescribed during COVID, Zarcan or Narcan or something, one of the cans that its only use, has no off-label use, is opioid overdoses. And I'm like, my immediate reaction is I'm like, fuck these people. And then line 2 was that I say I have chronic pain syndrome. Of course I have fucking chronic pain syndrome. I was a Green Beret. Like, I wouldn't get surgery because I didn't want to be non-operational. I just ground myself through pain to be able to be a good team guy. Like, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about, you office fuck. Right away, this little voice in my head was like, Linz, what? And it's in my voice. It's so funny. It was like, Linz, why would they be saying this? Like, just stop for a second. And this is, 5 seconds after I immediately spiral. So I'm like, okay. I go back through my medical records. Sure enough, it was during COVID. I was going through all of my hip specialist stuff, the stuff that was med boarding. And what I'm assuming is that there was some kind of army regulation, because it's the army, that because all the painkiller, you're sending you home with certain painkillers, that you needed to have the opioid overdose thing. Because in Army's wisdom, oh, you're overdosing, just reach over and take the fucking medicine that saves you from it. Like, it's so dumb. It just covers their ass. But also, I don't take painkillers outside of surgical aspects, so I don't even know why I would have had that. I don't remember. But it was in my medical record. And so sure enough, I was like, it was a 5-year point from point of injury to surgery, and I got medically retired. Like, yeah, I don't know why they prescribed it. It's probably an Army thing. But then the chronic pain, I guess where I was going with the second part. 5 years from point of injury, point of impact to surgery. Same thing with my shoulders. I had years. Any Green Beret is gonna tell you, look at my x-rays and MRIs. My spine is so fucked up. Like, I'm in pain all the time. We push ourselves so hard. Every Green Beret has chronic fucking pain syndrome. Like, so I take a second, I write a professional email. Like, this is what I think probably happened with there's probably Army regulation. I can look more into it if need be. Chronic pain, yes, I was in chronic pain at that time. I was a Green Beret. The demands of being in special operations is extremely brutal on the body. I get an email back like 15 minutes later. It's like, this is great response. We can go with this. So instead of just being mad and emailing them back and be like, fuck you, I'm not a pain pill popper. Like, granted, I was at one point way back in the day, but like, I'm not addicted to opioids. And like, I'm not this fucking little bitch that complains about being in chronic pain. Like, that's just real life. And XYZ, very professional. And they're like, great, you know? And so I'm just laughing to myself at like, I just handled, the voice that came in was super cool just to reflect on. I called Amanda like right away. We had another one right after. It was BAH, so we're getting BAH, we take online classes. we've been trying to go with our advisor there, and I'm really trying to do this as just like real world examples for you, so you guys can appreciate some of it and probably have some of the similar stuff. Our liaison at Cornell, we've been so focused on just letting them know we just need a max BAH. We don't really care about the classes. We're just getting housing allowance. You know, it's an income thing for us. I'm taking real estate courses, you know, commercial real estate courses, so I'm learning stuff. It's interesting. But we get a message, we're trying to see like what's going wrong. There's a problem with payments. The supervisor comes back and it's like, XYZ, you were told this when you started the program. Immediately, I'm like, someone goes, you were told this. I'm immediately like, fuck you. Like, I wasn't told shit. We've been talking to your guy, he doesn't fucking respond. Like, XYZ, brah. And seconds. Linz, why is she sending you this message? Maybe she's only getting one side of the story. Maybe she knows something you don't. You should probably like take a look at this. Sure enough, go back through emails. They absolutely told us what the issue we were trying to find out, and we had responded to part of the email and not that one. I hit up Amanda, she didn't see it either. So 100% my fault. It was like back to back, these cool experiences where I immediately got mad. Why the fuck are these people trying to do this to me? Little voice in the back of my head. It was super cool. It's still a struggle. I still get mad, but I am working really hard on the immediate aspect of what is it, my accountability. Why is this person probably trying to do this? Or why are they, what information do they have that is making them do these things that way? Like, you know, be able to go work through that process. So the last thing that I'll do, because I know this video is super long by now, because it's probably the most important, is anger that I don't realize the effect. And this one ties to Amanda. Any of you know, sorry, I got like a bite on the back of my arm, so I keep doing that. Funny to follow that after I say I'm not like a pill addict. Any of you who know us know that we have a very special marriage. We communicate in a way that is very not common. There's a gift of not having kids, but we are mates of soul. We are each other's person, and it's incredible. We both very selflessly, subconsciously think about the other person in most of our actions, and I know that that's true. That other person's happiness means the world to us, and it gets reciprocated. It's fucking amazing. I super recommend it. It's my first day back. We're trying to go have dinner with Amanda's sister and her husband, people that we just adore. And we're going to Cowboy Store. It's my favorite steakhouse in the world. Amanda has, so context here, I'm in a bunch of group texts. I don't fucking ever read them. I actually have notifications off on my phone now. Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I usually do it on my laptop. If it's a group text that Amanda's in, she'll give me the highlights. I don't care about all the other shit. She has a Reiki appointment. We only have one vehicle. I'm at the house. I think that it's an hour. I think so. She's supposed to be done at 5. It's like 5:20. Call her. She doesn't pick up. We've got dinner at 5:45. So I'm starting to get kind of mad. But what's cool is even there, I was quickly working through like, Linz, how much does it matter? One of my biggest true pet peeves is being late. Time is the only thing we don't get back. If you are fucking late, you're a piece of shit. If you are late and you don't call well beforehand to let them know, you're a piece of shit. You're selfish. And that is something I genuinely believe even now. If you do that, fuck you. And I hope you take that to heart if you are watching this and you've made it this far and you are a person that doesn't respect other people's time. You need to fix that. But it's so easily mitigatable. One, just be on time. Respect that. But two, call. So I call the steakhouse. I'm like, first, Amanda calls and I'm like, where you at? There's a fucking shooting down. One, I said I was gonna be home. My appointment's till 5:30. It's in the text message. Sure enough, I go in the group that I don't read and it's there. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm actually staying pretty relaxed. I'm pretty proud of it. Because now I'm really getting I've got room in my cup to take all this in, the accountability to see I'm probably missing stuff here. Like, I know that I don't read text messages, like in group text, and like, there's just information that that I could have, that I don't have, and it's my fault. Sure enough, I couldn't have accounted for there being a fucking shooting. Traffic is 5 o'clock in Colorado Springs near downtown. So I'm like, all right, just get home. We'll get up there. So I call, the thing with me being late, I call her sister. They're good with it. I call the restaurant. Hey, I'm so sorry. You guys are my favorite restaurant. We have been out of town. I can't wait to be there, but we're running a little bit late. My wife's stuck in traffic. We'll get there as fast as we can. They're like, amazing. People don't usually call. Thank you. We'll be here when you get here. Amanda calls back like 2 minutes later and immediately launches into defending herself about the text message, traffic, this and that. And I can hear the stress and panic in her voice. And it immediately starts breaking my heart, because I know that this is happening because historically, I would be so mad right now that she would be eating that in some way. And I don't know that I don't ever yell at her, but I would be so angry, viscerally angry, that then she has to sit near that. And at that point, I'm unable to really converse, and it's just uncomfortable for everyone around. I can be short, and I'm like, babe, it's okay. You know, I was more upset at the fact that she felt she needed to call above anything. Like, think about how big of a piece of shit I've been in the past. And someone who has, that's what I started with. I have an incredible marriage. We are never mean to each other. We barely are. In 8 years, we've argued like 5 times. Like, and if we do argue, it's like immediate communication, immediate resolution. It's incredible. But I've built this thing through stress over the past couple of years, where I can get so mad that even though I'm not focusedly mean to her, she has to eat that anger. She gets home and I meet her outside and just hug her. I'm like, babe, we're good. She's like, I'll just go like this. She's in cut off jeans and a tank. I'm like, babe, just changed. Like, I know how much it matters to her to look cute for things like that, and the public, just being in public like that. And sure enough, we were 15 minutes late. Didn't matter. Everyone was happy. We had a fucking amazing dinner. Amanda felt great, and it cost 15 minutes. And goddamn, is that the most reflective point that I've had so far, is I think we'd have a tendency to only think about like acute reactions, not reactions like that, where she's just eating things that we're not consciously aware of, or our spouse. And so that's something that was big. Maybe you guys can associate it too. So again, I can't see the phone. I have no idea how long this one went, but I know it's super long. If you guys made it all the way through, I appreciate it. And if you guys relate to any of this, hit me up and let's chat about it. I'm not really doing long form text messages, but I will video chat with you, ask any question you want. I'm super open about my own issues, my own struggles, and let's see if we can't just improve a little bit at a time. And it starts with self-accountability. If your life sucks, it is probably your fault. Genuinely. It's not, bad shit happens to us, but it's your fault if you still dwell on it and you're not just trying to find better, positive all the time. Because it's out there. I'm a case study. I've been through a lot of bad shit, and my life is pretty fucking solid right now. That's what I got. Talk to you soon. I love you guys.